will go play at the level we need them to. But all in all, I really like that group.
Vince in the back.
Vince, they kicked you to the back today or what, man? Jeez. Good night. Pulled the trump card on you, huh?
How much did you guys utilize the in-helmet communication? Looked like you guys are still doing the old school signaling and stuff. How was that? How did that work today, and how's that working?
Yeah, still a work in progress as we continue into to training camp. You know, I think everybody inside of our league was limited to 3 of those devices that would work and operate on a day-to-day basis, including the scrimmages. And so, you know, we put 2 of them on the offense side early in spring ball, transitioned it to the defense. Both sides got to, you know, tinker and play with, you know, how it's going to function and operate. And our communication system will continue to evolve, you know, as we have a better idea with that.
Wes and David.
Was a lot of those newcomers there at receiver as a group, sort of what have they added to that room, and you know, what have you liked from what you've seen from them this spring?
Athleticism, ability to go attack the football at the catch point in competitive situations. That can be over the middle. It can be, you know, a deep ball that, you know, some would call 50-50, 50-50 ball. I think those guys have continued to refine their traits at the line of scrimmage in press man coverage. It's the transition for every high-level high school wide receivers. They come to college. Typically, you know, they're seeing a bunch of off coverage and making sure the defense they're seeing isn't getting run by. And so learn how to play at the line of scrimmage. They work, they compete, they got the ability to make plays.
Josh, can you assess how the 2 mid-years from Bradley Central, Boo and Marcus?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Boo was busy and has been busy, but I hadn't heard much about Marcus. Can you just talk about how those 2
And both of those guys, you know, love their traits in the building. They're high-level, competitive individuals that have grown within the structure of our program, doing the right things outside of the building as well. They're intentional in the way that, you know, they sit in the meeting room, soak up knowledge, and try to grow in their understanding of fundamentals, technique, and scheme. They're physical guys. You know, we do tackle sessions. Both those guys are willing to stick their face in it. They have speed. You know, you saw Boo catch some returns today. And, you know, Marcus is a guy, you know, since he got here, I think he's put on, you know, 20 plus pounds in a short amount of time. I think that speaks to just how focused and intentional they are and what they're doing every day. So 2 young guys from here in state that absolutely love.
Paige, then Patrick.
Back here, Coach. What stood out to you about Sean Bishop today, especially the way he stood up in spring practice and then what showed out today at spring?
Yeah, I think, you know, for him coming off of his injury, getting healthy, having, for the most part, in our build-up to spring ball, had a full off season. Thought he did a really good job. Got a ton of opportunity this spring. Felt like coming off of the injury, whether it was mentally or just transitioning back into the ball side of it, continued to grow really well throughout the course of the spring. You know, he's ran well, sees it, what's happening up in front of him extremely well, and you know, does a great job pressing the line of scrimmage, using blockers. I thought today he got behind his pads probably better than he has. That's an area of growth for all of our running backs that we got to get better at as we get to kickoff.
Big touchdown play, but I think he also had a block on one of the first touchdowns as well. What does that say about his mindset? If a freshman comes in, they all want to make big plays like he did, but he's willing to be physical on the edge. Well,
it's one of the ways, you know, Mike's experiences on the defensive side of the ball just in high school. He's grown in his understanding of how to be physical and still be in a good body position, but he's willing to be physical. He's continued to grow throughout the course of spring, playing without the ball in his hands. And, you know, he's a guy that goes about his business every day and competes extremely hard. He's got a high competitive care factor makeup.
Coach, what do you think about the D-line today and how they progressed over spring ball?
Yeah, all in all, like that group, who they are in the meeting room, how they interact, coach each other on the practice field, but in the meeting room too. They've done a great job. Some experience that's helping the young guys grow. That room's, changed so much over the course of my tenure here. Coach Banks and Coach G and Coach Eck have done a great job with the makeup of who the people are and, their accountability inside of our program. They've been violent. I think they've grown with their ability to play with their hands. That's in pass rush, but it's also, snagging off the blocks and being able to make plays in the run game too. So our first group, obviously today, those guys were limited in the number of plays some of those vets got, but all in all, it's a really good group.
Last two, Reese, then Adam.
Coach, what's different about Nico at this point compared to this point last year?
There's so much growth, from any quarterback as they go through the early stages of learning what it takes to play college football. How intentional, how much time he spends inside of the building, which leads to the understanding of what we're doing offensively. Understanding the why behind it is really important for players as well. The structures of defenses, protections, being able to understand when you're hot, when you got to get rid of the ball out of your hands, how to slide protections and get yourself in good matchups. Our quarterbacks control a lot more than people think in our run game, and just continued growth there. So got really good command. He does a great job being intentional on a leadership role, communication role in one-on-one situations. Going to have to continue to grow as a leader inside of our program as he goes through his career. That's typical of every young quarterback.
Transfer portal opens in a few days. What factors will y'all look into about whether or not you need to add somebody, and how different is that, those evaluations, compared to like the previous transfer portal window?
Yeah, end of the day, you're trying to make your roster as good as it can be, we'll go through that process, have exit meetings with our own players. I think the culture piece is extremely important, in particular at this time of the year, because there's not a lot of time with them before you get to training camp. So it's got to be mature guys that you're bringing into your program too.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Appreciate it. You guys have a great day.
We'll have defenders Jeremiah Thielander, Amari Thomas, and Ed Spillman here, followed by Nico Gaston-Moore and Chris Brazzell.